I imagine you're moving more towards a tap out control deck because
Yeah, I
sitting there and
mean,
just waiting to
you can't afford to spend 5 mana to deal with 1/4 of their 4 drop, right?
exactly. Um, so we see Dauntless Bodyguard, another great one drop. There's a great so there's 10 one drops in this deck. There are Dauntless Bodyguards, four of those, four Signal of Warfare, and two Signal Pests. For the two drops, we're looking at four Quarter Paladins, four Knight of Grace. We're looking at four Benalish Marshal, four Hero of Bladehold, four History of Benalia, and then the four Battle Screech. Something I'm
Yeah,
looking very much forward to if Caradon brought in is in their sideboard. They do have three contested war zone just to bring the beats that extra little bit.
yeah. I mean, that's effective against a deck like blue white where they cannot attack you and take that toy away.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the upside, none of the downside. And also, if you're raising your curve, if Cardodom bought it in a way that say they're bringing in a Johnny or Lyra, or something to go bigger, then they want to hit some extra land drops as well. But it doesn't look like they want to go bigger. That
I
might
don't
be
think
more
they
of
want to go
a
bigger.
on.
They have two Dauntless Bodyguards in play.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a good way
might
to
be
get
more
under
versus.
some of the Wrath of Gods that cost 5 mana. A Johnny coming down. This is one that I have to read. So it puts +1/+1
I
counters on up to two target creatures, gets back a 2 drop or lower, and threatens to emblem. And I just assume that emblem says win the game
you create some cats. You
every
create
turn.
three cats area. Like it can be beat, but it's
It's tough
annoying.
for this white deck to beat that, I would think.
Yeah.
The blue white
So
deck.
there's a thing here that I'd like to direct your attention towards. This is actually a rematch.
Is it?
These two players did face in round two of Swiss. So do you have a guess as to who won?
Uh, I mean, based on the way the last game played out, I would put my money on Karate Dom.
Actually, Jacon won
Really?
the Swiss round. And we do see contested Warzone here. So these are lava axe carrying dauntless bodyguards.
Those are some beefy body boys.
Oh, and we see prismatic strands.
Prismatic Strands surprisingly doing so much work in this format. I mean,
Yes.
I'm just really shocked at how much we've seen Prismatic Strands help these control decks just get the 1 or 2 turns that they need to get around the corner. That being said, there's quite
Someone,
a corner to turn here for JCon.
yeah, also noticed that Jacon might not have the perfect mana situation that he would like.
Yes. Yeah, we missed a land drop that turn, right? So,
We've missed land drops for three turns,
okay.
which I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not ideal. Oh,
Not the
Jacon's
kind
run
of
a
performance you're hoping for out of your control deck now.
exactly, and I imagine we'll see prismatic strands flashback.
But or do you have to save that for next turn when the history goes off?
Well, you can flashback it if all your creatures are dead, which they would be.
True. But
And
that
now you can
does
at least,
leave Jacon in a bit of a pickle for this next turn.
well, you can get a singular Bremas attack in, but yeah, it's not
Yeah,
ideal.
but that chapter 3 is coming up on history, and that is a lot of power. Plus, a Johnny is at 7 loyalty.
Yeah, and this is just getting a Johnny off of seven loyalty and getting rid of a knight. I mean,
It's not nothing,
Jacob needs. It's not nothing, but
but you
Jacob
did
needs to
just
find these
trade
lands.
your Brimaz for a night token, right?
You did just do that,
And we're
and
still missing our land drops. So
we're still missing the numbers. We're still facing that contested war zone,
all
even if
these
we steal it.
creatures
What would
also
we do
get
with it?
vigilance. And so Johnny continues to.
There's
Do
the
they
seal
not?
away.
My
No,
mistake.
only
They
the
just
knight
get
token is
bigger.
actually on it. Yeah, They're all knights, but only the knight token has vigilance, and they don't gain vigilance.
I'm just so used to being attacked by a lot of vigilant creatures. I just assumed it gave vigilance.
Yes.
But it doesn't
And
seem to matter
Jason
because
packs it up.
Dauntless Bodyguard does the trick. And we see that white deck uh, take down the blue-white control deck in short order, moving on to our
Yeah.
semifinals.
Let's see what we have left. Well, that was surprisingly our first match. Do we want to look at Mono Green versus Mono Red?
Yeah.
Nuke versus Louis?
Oh, we have two versions of the mono green versus mono red
Oh,
going on
let's take
because.
Remy versus Ben.
Okay, here we go. Powerful monocolor strategies highlighting the top 8 here. All of these pip 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 players.
Yes. And we see Kargan Dragonlord threatening to go flamble soon.
Yep, you're
But
the
is that
dragon once again.
yeah, but is that good enough versus these 5/4s?
Well, there is 10 power against Ben's 10 life here.
Yes.
So
The
do we
math
see a
doesn't
chapter
really
3 on
work
flame?
in the math doesn't really work in Ben's favor here.
What
I'll be
needs
honest
to
with
be in Ben's hand for this chapter 3 to kill Remy, right? Is
you.
we have
Lava
Lava
Darts.
Dart. He's at functional 11 right now because of the Lava Dart in the graveyard. So I think we would need another Lava Dart and another
Oh, it doesn't
3
matter
damage
because
spell. And instead, Rabid Bite is just going to take it home for Remy.
yeah, and this is a sideboarded game because I don't think Rabbit Bite is in the main deck. So let's see
Let's
what the
see.
score will be here. Yeah, that makes
Okay,
it
so that evens
1-1.
it up.
Exciting stuff.
Chain Whirlers versus Steel Leaf Cobras.
Yeah, yeah, it's from that standard format. What can I
What
say?
else is there to say about
I'm very
this?
curious as to how Remy boarded here. Have they? Did he take out his land royals?
Against the Chain Whirler. Yeah.
It's definitely something that's worth considering, right? And I think the wisdom from standard at the time was that you took them out on the draw and tried to play another kind of game, and then you had them in on the play because it was just too powerful to not have it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the option of having it on turn 1 was just too good. But back then there wasn't lava darts, so maybe you just take them out completely because yikes, having
Yeah, Lava Dart is. Land Whirl is a liability against the Chain Whirler Lava Dart deck. Although
yeah
with Flame of Kill, you want to point your Lava Darts at the opponent, but I think you're willing to bolt the bird anyway.
yeah definitely.
Especially
So
with some of the
Remy,
starts we've seen out of this green deck.
yeah. So mono red means that mono red actually broke Surf in the first game
Mm-hmm.
because Remy was on the play here.
Our players deciding on their opening hands here.
Yep. I don't know if it broke for me. I'll just quickly re-enter it.
Both players keeping their opening 7 here.
I'm trying to enter the match, but I can't quite see now. I'll just have to refer to your stream of it. Okay, excellent.
Llanowar Elf still in the deck.
Even on the draw.
Just deciding that Llanowar Elf is too good and ramping into these powerful 3 and higher drops is worth it. And
Yep.
getting paid here because Kiln Feed comes down and Llanowar Elf untaps to add mana to the mana pool.
Yep. It seems we have some players with a bit of an issue. Um, so I'll see if I need it.
All right.
All right.
Well, we'll continue to watch this game while you handle that.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do for them right now, so I'm here with you until further notice.
All right. Druid of the Cowl coming down. Facing down against a Viashino Pyromancer. That does favor the Cowl, but as we saw, there is always the threat of Chain Whirler.
I would see aspect of the Hydra saving Dirt of the Cowl here.
Preventing a profitable attack from Kiln Fiend. That's a nice chunk of life that Aspect just saved there.
Definitely. Definitely.
Maybe some problems going on with Magic Online here as we get into our top 8. Hopefully the matches won't be too affected and our players are able to restart and keep things going. But
Yeah.
the match we're watching does seem to be moving forward. Steel Leaf Champion hitting the battlefield now. How do we feel this game is shaping up right now? It seems fairly even. Who do you think is favored here?
I think it depends a lot of what's in Ben's hand here.
Forked Bolt, a good start.
Yeah, targeting Dirt of the Cowl and Lanuel's.
Targeting Druid here is a sign of strength.
It is, yeah, it is actively
Wow.
treasoning Steely. Yeah, that'll do it. Because targeting the Druid means that even Viashino can attack now. And like he doesn't mind trading the Viashino with a Druid of the Cowl.
I mean,
Hello,
Druid
please.
seems like it needs to just soak up this 7 from Kiln Feed, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
and Remy
take 7
agrees.
then.
Aspect, is that enough?
Oh,
It's enough to
it's
trade with
not
the
to
Kiln
trade.
Feed.
Yeah, I think this turn favored Remy
Yeah, that
vastly.
did seem to work out. Um,
Ben really needs
Ben
some
needs a Flame
needs
of
a
Keld to be the last card in his hand, I think, to
yeah. Even then, this is getting out of hand quickly for him. And there's no flame slash.
Ben deciding I'm not going to kill their creatures, I'm just going to kill their player.
Yeah, I mean it's just a 4 turn race, right?
Well,
Or
listen,
three
we're
turn race.
still in active treason away from things going very wrong for Remy here. So even though this Steel Leaf Champion is a formidable threat, things can turn on a dime.
Yeah. Uh, Now Elvish Clan Caller enters the fray as well. What I would love to see from Ben here is Lava Dart, Flame of Keld, or Lightning Strike, or what's it? Wizard's Lightning, something something, and then Flame of Keld. Or a Chain Whirler to just gives himself some time.
Ben with his back against the wall here.
So Remy, what is it? I imagine Remy is trying to figure out how to close this game quicker so he doesn't suddenly lose to just like bolt, 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 stuff like that. Remy is right now trying to imagine, all right, how do I lose this game and how do I best prevent that state from happening? And I imagine what is going through Remy's head is, I need to finish off the guy ahead of me. I need him to be dead, and I'd rather him to be dead yesterday than now.
A lot of tools at his disposal to make his opponent dead. Let's see what's coming here.
Yeah, that's a scary thing about playing mono red. You can feel like you're super ahead, and then suddenly it's just, whoop, I'm dead. Okay, this is actually turning out great, because this forces Ben to block both creatures coming in that he can block. Oh, not even attacking with the druid, so I imagine there's another follow-up of some kind. So now
Maybe a
he's
rabid bite.
two. There's
But
no follow-up. Maybe, I don't know.
maybe just
Maybe
blocking with the druid.
well,
Not wanting to
yeah,
take any damage off that pyromancer and get himself closer
yeah.
to
Like
dead.
there's definitely some reason. Maybe it's just playing a bit extra super duper safe, just in case of something. But now Remy takes down the match,
Remy takes down the match.
and I
So
think
that is our second game in the semifinals. I know it looks like Brian Paris. I know they were trying to restart their match.
yeah, they had some trouble. They are our last match. So if we can get them on, then great. Otherwise, we have some. I have something lined up if that doesn't work out. I'll also see if I can get my Magic Online to let me actually watch matches. Oh no. All right, good.
Do you see them? Are they in the? I'm trying to sort through all of these games here in the Magic Online freeform tournament practice room, which is where we do all of our playtesting and Discord matchmaking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even in mode
Okay,
watch,
here we go.
so I'm trying
Wordwood
to log on something
versus
noted. But it seems like
Brian Paris. And I believe
excellent.
Wordwood is up a game already.
Awesome. I'm I think my computer is starting to feel the load a bit. Okay, excellent. Um,
You've got to restart Magic Online after every match, whether you're playing or commentating. That's the
yeah,
rule of the
exactly.
game.
Okay,
We
now
have
I
an
see what you're
awful
looking at.
lot of toughness in play on this board.
What can I say? Brian Paris is just sitting there. I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
I like Consecrated Sphinx, and I cannot lie.
Yeah, we're also seeing
Sylvan
Legacy
Safekeeper doing a
Stable.
lot of work here.
Yeah. Uh, Also, as Dark Confidant is affectionately named Bob after Bob Meyer, this is actually
Ollie.
Ole Rod's Bob. Uh, so nice to see some Scandinavian representation here. As Arceus is beefing up everything.
Consecrated Sphinx needs to have a little bit more power on its toughness.
Yeah, of course, it needs to be a proper Titan.
That last Overgrown staying back to protect Thrun from a sweeper.
Yeah, I imagine that's the idea here. Wall of Omens biting the dust. Teferi gone.
Sphinx drawing.
Sphinx Throne. Khan will return a Lyra, which is not insignificant.
But it no longer blocks Consecrated Sphinx profitably with this Arcades out.
not truly. No, it's that's not a great experience.
Lyra might be part of the solution, but it's not all of the solution. But the Cleansing Nova might be the other half.
Yeah, the trouble is, if he has activated Karn. No, okay, okay, he's choosing to make a construct. Interesting play.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
I think
guess
it's the hope that
wanting
he can.
to take down Karn a little bit later.
Yeah, I think it's the hope that this Karn can stay alive. Tachiova enters the fray, and now we're just churning through the deck.
Brian Paris, happy to draw cards until this game draws to a close. Both players sitting on Library of Alexandria right now with 7 cards in hand, ready to activate as
Yes.
soon as they draw it.
Oh, do you remember the set roulette where Library of Alexandria was legal, so you can
Was
play 4?
And here's our first in Bolus's clutches of the match.
Finally! I've been waiting for this all night.
Now, was that the same set roulette where Mono Drain was legal?
No. It's the one that I won with, where we had. It's the
Well,
one
you
where we
won
had
both of
Channel
them
Fire.
honors.
It's the one where we had Channel Fireball legal as well,
Ah,
and
okay.
Eldrazi and stuff like that. And then I was just tooting away with my Library of Alexandria. Yeah, yeah, you make turn two reality smashes. It's fine.
Set roulette can take us to some wild places,
Yeah.
like tapping Eldrazi with Icy Manipulator, or
Set roulette makes for a great highlight reel. I mean,
it really does.
and
What's
yeah, we see
what's
the.
your favorite highlight you think you've seen from this season so far?
I think it has to be the conscripted Inkmap Nexus, right?
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Uh, that's good poster.
I was able to fling a sutured ghoul at my opponent for 30 damage in one of my practice
I mean,
matches. That was a highlight for me personally.
that counts as well. That counts as well. We do get some sweet stuff here. Okay, we keep on just piling friends onto the table, but what exactly are we planning to what do we want to have happen here? Because there's still a bloody Thrun on the other side of the board.
That's a
Okay,
start.
Gideon is a start.
I mean, that buys you time to start playing with your Karn, bubbling
Yes.
up creatures and getting more value out of the planeswalkers that do exist. I
Yeah,
mean, Karn
I'd
going to take a
imagine
good chunk of damage here.
I'd imagine that we're getting this Lyra back sooner rather than later right now. But it's really patient play by Wordwood. Oh, Unified Will to ruin the day again. Oh,
Brian Perez with the one of Unified Will has just been blowing people out with it. You know, it looks on
it's
paper
not
like
even.
one of these concessions to open deck lists where you just want to mess with your opponent by having one Unified Will, and they just have to think about it. But we've seen it twice now just absolutely devastate an opponent.
Absolutely ruin someone's day. And now Arcadis comes down.
Lyra not coming back. Both Planeswalkers
No.
likely to die here.
Green Suns for 2. I don't even know. It could be an Ogre Battlement. Yeah, it's an Ogre Battlement. Draw a
I mean,
card.
hey, that attacks for 4, right?
Yeah, it will soon.
6 cards
And
in,
then
in
Wall of
hand for
Omens.
Wordwood still, so I mean, there's still plenty of room to draw a sweeper here.
Yes. And then we're just still looking at Thrun, not having any Planeswalkers.
These decks both playing a very long game, and you know, Thrun is certainly a powerful, resilient threat that's tough to deal with, but the game's ultimately going to come down to who's able to craft the better inevitable plan. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, Thrun certainly could be that plan, but I don't know everything that Wordwood's deck is capable of here, and it could present some powerful pieces.
Yeah, now we see Lyra honestly just. I mean, we can still see some attacks, but Lyra is here to just. I'm a 5 power first striker. Do you
Yeah,
have anything with more than 5 toughness?
that may be some of the reason we didn't see any prioritization of bringing Lyra back from Karn before, right?
Yeah, not if there's just been a backup Karn at the ready.
A backup Karn and a backup Lyra.
This Karn did return the original Lyra.
Oh, did it? I thought that it didn't get a chance.
Now the new Karn can return the old Karn's
Oh,
leftovers.
so it can.
And we did see a concession of sacrificing a Wall of Omens to deal with the Karn.
I think an acceptable trade.
Yeah, it's a bit hard for me to say who's better off right now.
Yeah, the Lyra's doing a lot of work to keep this board manageable.
Yeah, though the Arcadis can. Okay, so there's a Teferi there. So now I'm inclined to say Wordwood, but it depends what Brian can follow this up with.
Yeah, Unified Will already in the graveyard.
Yeah, and there's only one of those. It is a great one. I am loving it.
And Wordwood now starting to pull ahead on cards a little bit.
Yeah, there's this thing. Will this Teferi? Oh, it has already drawn a card, but there is a consideration to whether you want to deal with this Arcadis in some more uh, elegant manner than just sweeping the whole board, because then your Lyra can actually start attacking.
This Jiraga Tree Speaker, if Brian ever needs something to do with his mana, can also level up to become a 4 power creature.
Yeah, unfortunately, 4 is still less than 5. So this Lyra is doing a great job of just stonewalling everything. And maybe where it would. Okay, I was thinking the follower is very interesting to me. I think Word would just want to force Brian to attack with Arcadis so Lyra can chop it down.
When they say math is for blockers, maybe what they meant is math is for defenders.
Math is for defenders. Because Wordwood is threatening this Teferi ultimate.
And it's a tricky attack to maneuver here, right? Because you can get through and take down a planeswalker, but at some personal cost.
Yeah,
And meanwhile, Wordwood is pulling ahead on cards and just throwing your cards away may not be enough in the long game, especially knowing you have a Kiora's follower coming up here in a draw step or two.
yeah, definitely.
There's a sweeper on top. Wordwood probably fine to see that, although Lyra doing a better job at controlling the board than the sweeper will.
Yeah, I think Wordwood would rather actually see almost any other spell because he's not inclined to sweep the board to just leave Throne
Just
around.
leaving Thren to threaten the planeswalkers. Both players with a lot of mana and a lot of cards.
Yeah, I don't recall Kaor's ultimate.
Are
Is
either
it
of
the one that
these?
makes? I think it makes squits every end step. You just get an 8/8.
Well, let's find out. We can read the card. Yep,
Oh,
create a
and you get a
Kraken.
9/9.
So maybe this is the
And
long game plan. Maybe this is what Kiara is about. But Brian Paris with a 15 card wish board. Let's see what tricks we've got up our sleeve here for the control mirror.
there's definitely something.
There's got to be with a full wish board, right?
I mean, it's probably some Kozilek time. Oh, yeah, recall. I can't really fathom how much mana Brian has available.
2,
5, 7,
3.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Is that 15
Yeah,
I'm counting?
that is 15.
Are we going to
We
see the queen of the spaghetti monsters herself come down to threaten Wordwood's Planeswalkers, life total, board state,
honor.
family?
Legacy, everything.
Do we have an Emrakul in the sideboard, Anders?
There is an Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, in the sideboard here, and we
And
see
it
it revealed.
enters the
Yes,
hand.
Brian. Brian put this in the sideboard for exactly this situation. I guarantee it.
Emrakul the Aeon's Torn cannot be countered. Casts Time Walk. Has protection from spells that are one or more colors.
Annihilator 6, flying, cannot be reanimated.
It
I mean,
does not have Indestructible.
It does not. It's only the new Eldrazi's, and I think it's only the new Ulamog that's indestructible.
And so we do know that there's a Cleansing Nova in hand that will handle the Emrakul. So we're kind of trading an Emrakul for a Lyra here.
And we get to attack with our Emrakul because we time walk first.
Touche. That is a powerful ability of the card. Annihilator 6.
Yeah, so we do get to get rid of some of these planeswalkers, get rid of some lands. I mean, Wordwood would much rather not be attacked by this Emrakul, I can guarantee you. But we have seen players survive and kill survive Emrakul attacks and turn out to win the game later.
He has 3 creatures to sacrifice, so that takes some of the sting off of the Annihilator. 15 damage, not really that important at the moment.
No, I think we're back in 2014, 2013. Back when Legacy was a beautiful great format. We're way back. We're back in 2013, maybe 2012 even. We saw Thomas Enevolson with his Dead and Taxes deck actually survive 2 Emrakul attacks and turn to win the game.
Cleansing Nova coming down, leaving just a Thrun, and that does take us off Emrakul mana, does it not?
Unless there's an untapped source, I believe.
We're at 13 right now, so we need
13. Okay. Okay, so you're saying there's a chance.
So can Teferi ultimate in time to stop this Emrakul?
Also Kiora will ultimate.
Yeah, a Kiora ultimate is good. A Teferi ultimate handles an Emrakul better.
Yeah. Now Brian is at 14 and that's 15. And there's a jump. I guarantee you there's a jump here.
Yep, you got to. So what do we need to see here? We have to deal with this Llanowar Elf, right? Or what?
Preferably we have to deal with this Llanowar Elves. But there's also the odds that Brian just shrugs and plays an untapped land.
He's certainly drawn enough cards in this game to have one.
Yeah. Well, he's down to 2 cards, so there are no guarantees.
And the Bant deck does play a high number of temples. Although 3 Temple of Plenty still in the deck.
Yeah, Brian there's 3 Temple of Plenty left in the deck. There may or may not be a 4th Temple of Enlightenment, because one of these temples could have been wished for early in the game. I'm really curious to what Wordwood will do here.
First, we have to stop this Llanowar Elf, hopefully with something other than a Teferi downtick.
Yes, but there is also the option of... No, we won't get to... No, we've already taken down Ikara. Because you could just shrug, take Teferi up to 8, ultimate your Kiora, take the Emrakul hit, and then Cleansing Nova. That is an option that's available to you.
If we have an additional Cleansing Nova in hand. We did cast the Cleansing Nova earlier.
Yeah, we did cast number 2, and that once again we're down to how did they sideboard.
So Gideon gonna save him a few life points if this does come down, and will give Teferi a chance to ultimate.
Yes,
Um,
yes, and that will work if Wordwood can manage to draw enough cards.
Now, on the extra turn, we will be able to attack with the Llanowar Elf and maybe take Teferi off of. Well, no, because Gideon, it's all
They
going
have
at
to attack
Gideon.
Gideon
Is this just next turn or is it until your next turn? So
during
on
target opponent's next turn. Oh, that's
so
so
on the
unfortunate.
extra turn, Emrakul can in fact attack whoever she wants.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. Like, if Gideon had printed today, it would,
It
due
would
to
say
Commander being so
until,
popular, it would say until your next turn,
yeah.
creatures your opponents control must attack Gideon if able. That is so unfortunate. Yeah,
We
and
are
that is
attacking the
heading straight
Teferi.
to Teferi.
Thrun doing a little dance here.
Thrun is just troll dancing.
Decides you don't have to force me to attack Gideon. I'm happy to do it of my own accord. Annihilator
Yeah.
trigger. Is this the first Annihilator trigger we've seen go on the stack?
On stream, I believe so, yeah, but there has been other Annihilator triggers
In the history of Magic? Yeah, I think so.
in the history of this event. Yeah, I believe it is actually the first Annihilator trigger, and it is from Mom Spaghetti. So that's very, very cute. Okay, we will actually be able to get rid of the Emrakul here.
Wordwood did
Um,
untap.
and Emrakul, Gideon can assassinate Emrakul, interestingly enough. I would love to see that play out.
We
Just
still have
Gideon.
a Consecrated Sphinx and a Thrun to worry about, though.
I mean, I think Wordwood would love to have a Cleansing Nova right here, right
It
now.
would be ideal to cleanse this board.
Cleanse some Nova.
Yeah.
But also, like, Wordwood is down to 19 cards. What's left of those 19 cards? Are there 19 cards here that win him the game?
Right. I mean, Brian Paris with the Emrakul now in play, not in a lot of risk of decking out, even if uh, this Consecrated Sphinx decides to get frisky.
Yeah.
We
And
are
we see
seeing
Emrakul
Gideon kill
assassinated.
Emrakul.
I think that
Very
is
cool.
beautiful.
I didn't get the screenshot in time.
Boo-hoo.
We'll have to go
Someone
back to the
clip it.
VOD for it.
Nah, please, someone in chat clip it, because Gideon assassinating Emrakul that's straight to the museum. Sorry. I don't make the rules.
What a
So
fun
it looks
board
like,
state.
yeah, Brian is quietly pulling ahead here. But it all depends on how Wordward actually depends a lot on how they sideboard it. What are these remaining 18 cards? Is there something here? What
I mean,
what
can
can happen?
you are a blue-white control player at heart. Can you formulate a game plan for this Bant control deck to get out of the situation they're in?
Like, I'm looking at Wordward's list, and step one is definitely ultimating a Teferi.
Yeah.
Step two, I'm not sure on what's going on from there. But we need some way to keep this run at bay, and I think that for Wordwood, that um, this whole Thrun thing came as a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, Thrun just steadily marching towards Planeswalkers.
Yeah,
Who would win, every Planeswalker in Dominaria or one troll?
one trolly boy. You remember when Thrun was printed? Jace the Mind Sculptor was ripping Standard apart. Not soon after, they ended up banning the poor guy, and today he's like worth peanuts. But back then, remember, Jason Mindsculptor was close to $100 card because it was just the most powerful planeswalkers of all time, and they needed tools to come. Oh, here's Castle Lake. Uh, that must have come in from an earlier wish because that's not in the main deck.
Or it was a very spicy sideboard choice from Brian.
I imagine not.
Well, have we not been watching this whole game? We've been watching this game for so long that it feels like we must have watched it from the beginning. But I
Oh,
guess we
sorry, I
came
just
in.
missed. No, I missed that. Brian cast another wish.
Ah, yes. The the hazards of running a stream and doing commentary at the same time makes it's hard to do both things at full efficiency. But
Yeah, and it's just easy to miss things on Moto because, well, things sometimes happen a bit more automatically.
yes, very true.
Um, so now Brian is sitting steadily on 7 cards. Wordwood. So that's the thing about these two ways of generating card advantage. Wordwood just wants to slow the game down and let his planeswalkers quietly grind it out, whereas Brian is just throwing these massive haymakers left, right, and center. He doesn't care about when the game ends. Like he can play a long game as well. It's just every single one of his cards is impactful immediately. Where if a planeswalker gets answered after a turn, yeah, you're a bit behind, but you're not a Coslick drawing 4 cards behind. There's two different philosophies going on here, and we see that Brian is getting full advantage out of his because, and this is actually Throne carrying the game because Wordwood is just not able to contain this constant threat on the planeswalkers. If Throne did not see this game at all, then I have no doubt in my heart that Wordwood would be massively ahead. That whole thing having something just surviving a sweeper really throws a massive wrench in this whole planeswalker control style deck.
Right. The entire idea is nothing can attack my planeswalkers a turn after I Wrath of God, and yet Thrun somehow defies all that, doing what he was designed to do and punishing opposing control decks. We tuck another Eldrazi. Basically the same as Gideon, assassinating it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Brian currently with 34 cards in his library and 2 spaghetti monsters.
Among those 34 cards. And still, we see Thrun just constantly being a menace.
Oath of Teferi coming down now, doubling up.
Yeah. Alright, Kiora here can bubble the construct to make it jump Thrun forever. Choosing not to, but it was an option that's available because I think it's like a whole maze of it, so it says prevent both damage both to and from.
It is an unintuitive line.
Rebel to target from an opponent's controls. Okay.
So you cannot target your own stuff.
Oh, that
They thought of that, Anders, and they said,
yeah. Kira would have been too broken otherwise. Mea culpa.
So Teferi and his Oath in play now.
But still, only 13 cards
I
left for
mean,
Wordwood.
we're much closer to deck damage than life damage ever mattering here.
Yeah, this is all about Brian just needing to keep these planeswalkers under control so they don't suddenly run away with the game.
This match being somewhat impacted, I think, by the Moto bug causing them to restart after game 1, because now you see both players with about 10 minutes left on their clock. You wonder how long
Yeah,
that game 1 would have been.
yeah, it's hard for us to police, so we're just gonna let them play because it's not something we can really
Yeah, Magic
act on.
Magic Online is going to do what it's going to do, and we have to play the cards as they lay. But
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate because this match would have probably been down to the wire on clock as well. But I don't mind giving them the time to play it out.
Well,
It's
and I would rather see the cards decide than the clock decide anyway.
especially if someone is having a bit of a connection issue, it would be really, really sad. This game is actually quite exciting. So now we see Brian fully using that reloaded hand we saw earlier, and we know there's still a Kozilek coming up.
Now, is this game two?
I have no idea.
Because I think Brian Paris lost game one, and this may be game two.
We are in for a grind like this, but this tournament has been like running so fast.
Right. I guess it really just took these two decks smashing into each other to grind it to a halt. When
Yeah.
both wall decks face off.
I see Brian in chat saying, yes, it's game two. I'm down 0-1. So, yes. We see Cleansing Nova saving the day here. Oh, saving is a big word, but you get what I mean.
Delaying the game further. Thrun.
Thanks, Brian, for that quick check-in. This is just crazy. But still, Wordwood has 10 cards left.
Well, we've been playing the same game for the last 15, 20 minutes, and the fundamental facts are still that this Thrun is just attacking. Although at this point, Teferi is starting to threaten
an ultimate
because of this Oath of Teferi.
How many Teferis are gone? Is this the fourth Teferi?
Yes. No. Yes, it is. So it can't ultimate right away, right? It needs to get high enough that it can ultimate and then self-tuck so that Wordwood doesn't die.
Yes, it needs to survive and then be able to tuck.
And then Karn has to build enough constructs to finish the game.
Yes.
That's the path, right?
Yeah. What's in the exile pile? Is there any cards that Karn can get that would be interesting?
There's a Kiora. No, not really. I mean, Kiora can ultimate, and that will also...
Kiora can ultimate next turn. So we're looking at...
It is getting very interesting. It seemed like there was no path forward, but...
It's all going to come down to where are those Eldrazi's? When will Brian draw into them?
Thrun attacking Teferi. Construct more than happy to take the hit here.
Yeah. What is my purpose? You block Thrun. Oh no.
It won't take too many more sad robots before they're not sad anymore, though.
Well, Karn is a bit depleted for now, so... And then there's the thing. If you plus Karn, you've removed 2 cards from your library. That is an actual cost right now. And Brian is just doing all he can to churn through his deck, find those Eldrazi's, because this is going to get hairy. Ousting this Sphinx, yes, okay. And ousting the Arcade is beautiful. Those cards will also be in the way, so unless the top card is an Eldrazi, then there will be no Eldrazi's left to find. And next turn, soon we will see a Teferi ultimate. And we will see Kiora ultimate now, I imagine, because we need to get this beatdown going.
We have to have some way to win the game. And there it is. There's the ultimate. So 9/9 is going to start hitting the battlefield.
We take up Karn. Can we afford to take up Karn?
I think...
Is that legal for us to do? We can oust our own creatures. We can oust our causer.
That is our creature. Our one creature, the courser. it's delicate here, and I'm just thankful that I have not had to navigate this match because this is an intricate dance that both of these players have been doing, and I didn't think that there was a path forward for Wordwood, and he has really shown
Yeah, that is
some
there's also some mental
perseverance.
resiliency.
Yes.
It's like this is a line dance, but except it's not just a line dance. But below the line, there's like spikes, and the spikes are on fire, and you're covered in gasoline, and it's just like one minor misstep, and this game could have been won or lost for either player. This is some of the most exciting Magic I've seen all year.
We he says in minute 25 of a game. This is true control mage heaven to watch this though.
This is not even just control; it's just it's Super Friends. It's an archetype that almost never works. But this Oath of Teferi has been brilliant. It makes those uh, so those planeswalkers actually were able to ultimate way faster than they were balanced to do. So it's been excellent, and we're already looking at another Kyora ultimate soon, like
Green Sun
very
Zenith does
shortly.
shuffle those ousted creatures away so that the Eldrazi are back to live draws.
Yeah, any day now we will see spaghetti monsters come flying out of Brian, and it all comes down to is Wordwood ready? Is he ready to bring the fight there?
Yeah, I mean, if we ultimate this to Fairy, and we're able to tuck this to Fairy, do we get down
I
to a
don't think we are.
situation? Yeah, we're gonna run out of cards, aren't we?
Yeah, we're not going to be able to ultimate this to Fairy and tuck it. We need to oust our own creature.
What a wild game.
And even if we oust our own creature, I am not. Yeah, that should be good enough. I think the play for Wordwood is to oust the course of Crufix and ultimate the Kyora, and let's get going. We are getting two squids a turn. We are
Another
playing our
oath.
second out of Teferi.
Does that
That works.
work?
Yeah, we flickered the Teferi.
Oh, look at that.
We just need to make sure that it doesn't take any damage
The
this following turn.
Teferi has got to tuck it, be able to tuck itself, or we will die to deck damage. We're getting two 9/9s at the end of turn. We've bubbled the Arcades.
Problem of the arcade is it comes down to Emrakul. Will this Teferi exile enough mana producing permanents
Wait, we're
before
we're
we get to
carning
Emrakul?
here.
No, we can't. We can't.
We have 0 cards. What's happening now?
Are we dead? No, oust the Courser. Oust the Courser. Planar cleansing. Yes. Or sorry, what's it called? Cleansing
Cleansing
Nova.
Nova. Two 9/9s come into play. Teferi.
One card hand. Teferi coming back. Oh my
Do you scry top or
god,
scry
this is
bottom here?
I scry bottom just for the hell of it. Oh my god. The math man, he did it. I mean, he's still not out
Now,
because
Emrakul is still a live draw here, right?
Emrakul still ruins his day. Even Kozilek ruins his day. Even a sizable enough creature, not that.
Tatiova does
Uh,
not ruin his day.
no, but it helps. Yeah, now there's Evolving Wilds, so that churns through the deck even faster.
But Teferi can start attacking the mana.
Yeah, the Teferi Umbler, we will destroy a mana source a turn.
And start
That is
generating. I mean, the 9/9s are going to make it impossible to get through on the ground.
Yes. So I think what will
Teferi's
happen
never
is
going to be in play long enough to be attacked.
no. It had to be this turn. Now we're just constantly talking to Fairy, exiling first the Gift of Paradise uh, lands until the Eldrazi's are no longer an issue, and then we'll start working on the permanents, and then
Well,
and
so yeah, because Emrakul at this point, even if it gets cast when Teferi comes down again, it exiles the Emrakul, yeah? And then we can't deal enough damage before. Am I
yeah.
right here? I mean,
Okay, so Wordwood chose to
with
exile
no
the
cards in
Arcade
library,
here.
we can plus card to our heart content.
Yes. I think the idea here is to get Karn massively up, scry this to the bottom, and then make some sizable robots. These robots are going to be big as dragons go.
Well, we said this was going to come down to who knew what the inevitability was, who had the longest game plan. And Wordwood is proving to have a very powerful end game plan here with
I mean, I
Oath of
want
Tefera.
this
Just
entire
clearly just
game in a museum.
it is
This
a Hall of
beautiful.
Fame kind of game. Truly beautiful to watch it unfold.
Like everyone, and Brian is just keep drawing these bloody greens on seniors. He just want to see it from Eldrazi, but Eldrazi's are colorless. They're not green, and he's just hating life right now.
But just getting an Eldrazi isn't good enough either. We need to cast Eldrazi.
Yeah, Wordward is still working on the permanents. I think Wordward is just banking on all these Kroggans being eventually good enough that
Brian has
it's
an out. Brian has an out. He has one counterspell in the deck, right? Oh, but he's not going to have more creatures anymore.
no, it's not gonna like Wordward would love for Brian to draw Unified Will.
Yeah, the too many squids have appeared at this point. That would
But
have
yeah,
been a
it
way to
is an out.
stop this Teferi loop, though.
Yeah, I mean, no one when they put Teferi in the deck imagine that this situation comes up, but by God, is it beautiful.
Wordwood having the vision that this was possible and navigating the game towards it just very beautifully.
Yeah, he's not out of the. Yeah, that doesn't matter. He's not out of the woods yet. There's still the threat of. And no, there's not even the threat of
Well,
an Immortal
we
anymore.
have 6/9/9s that can attack this turn.
Yeah, this is it. Wordwood is taking it. Oh my God. I mean, imagine someone is missing this because they're warming up for the Super Bowl.
This is the Super Bowl.
Poor
This is our
bastards.
Super Bowl.
Oh my God, Wordwood. Oh my Lord.
And in come the
This is
Krakens.
not okay. That is, yeah, crack in. That's what I'm saying.
18 damage. Mother May I? Wordwood takes the match.
Oh my God.
Beautifully fought.
Oh my
Congratulations to both players on
God.
that game because it was
Yeah,
really enjoyable to watch.
I'm gonna reach out to Wordwood. We had another interview lined up, but I'm gonna push it a bit because we will get a chance to speak with that person. I'll reach out to Wormwood and see if we can do that.
I'm sure that they will appreciate a moment to breathe.
Yes, and they can get to do that on stream if I can get them.
Brian Paris in the chat saying it hurts to lose, but I'm glad to be such part of an epic match. And I think you put it perfectly there, Brian. That's gotta be rough to lose when it felt like you were in the driver's seat for so long. But beautifully navigated by both players. The vision to see where that game could end up and fight through what felt at times just completely demoralizing. So glad that I'm not a control player, because I don't think I have what it takes to play a game like that.
Yeah, I'm just reaching out to Wordward, seeing if we can get them on stream here. Yeah, I'll just warn them. I mean, that was beautiful. Hello, Wordwood. Beautiful game. I am so amazed. You must be as giddy as I am.
Oh, that was one of my favorite games I've ever played in like the entirety of Magic. It was great.
Yeah.
At
why we
what
play this
point?
format, like.
At what point in the game did you realize what the line was to get to that kind of a state?
So I knew I had the 4th Teferi under Karn for a while, and I assumed that we were gonna have to get to a spot where I started tucking my own Teferi. I didn't expect to have to ult Kiora twice. That was an unexpected line. I don't know if anyone in the history of Magic has ever had 2 Kiora emblems until today. That seems unlikely. I would bet against it.
I imagine you're as giddy as I am. I said on stream that someone is missing this because they're warming up for the Super Bowl. I think it's one of the most exciting games of a Magic I have watched all year.
I don't know how much you saw. Kozilek and Emrakul were both cast that game, not by me.
Yes.
We were watching.
Yes,
we were watching from very early on in that game.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that Thrun was just pressuring your planeswalkers and making it impossible for you to get out from under, because your Novas weren't doing what they were designed to do. And then that Oath of Teferi came down and just really opened the world up for you.
Yeah, Oath of Teferi plus Gideon actually has been kind of nuts the whole day. Just a 10 loyalty planeswalker that protects all the other ones while you're plussing everything it's just so hard to fight through for anything. Like,
yeah, I had this feeling that this game, you would have been so far ahead in this game if Thrun wasn't around. It feels like that, like it wasn't consecrated strings, it wasn't the Eldrazi's, it was just Thrun making your life hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Kiora ult was like my only real out to a Thrun. So my Lyra died. I had to Wrathway my Lyra earlier. I spewed my Bolus's clutches too early. I wasn't thinking, and I stole the Tat Yova on like turn 5 or 6.
Yeah, to protect the Karn, I think.
Yeah, and I could have. I forget what I could have done instead. I had like 2 planeswalkers in hand. I could have just played those out and tried to protect that way.
But it's funny that a play on turn 5 ends up affecting turn 60 when you're completely out of cards in your library, and sure would be nice to steal their Eldrazi.
Yeah, the Bolus's clutches I really shouldn't have spewed, because it can actually answer both Emrakul and Thrun, because you can blink it with Oath of Teferi, and then when an aura comes in that's not cast, you just have to choose a legal permanent to enchant. But I wasn't playing for that long of a game, and if I'd held it, I think I could have ended the game a lot sooner.
Very interesting. Well,
what's the craziest thing you've taken with Bolus's clutches? I have to ask.
That was the first time I cast it today. I'm playing 1 because I think it's the best answer to Teferi in the format. I was a big fan of the card in Standard because you got to steal Niv Mizzets in the Izzet mirrors with it.
Oh, yeah.
And like your opponent would just tap out for Niv all the time because it's uncounterable. And then the only way most people had to remove it was like cast 2 lightning strikes, or you would spend several spells and they draw several cards. And if you Bolus's clutched it, they got no cards. And you got a Niv Mizzet, which was the best card because they were also blue-red spells.
Yeah. You know
Very
what?
nice.
Thank you for taking this time with us.
Yeah.
We'll give you like a quick minute to catch your breath.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go stretch
for the
my
semifinals.
legs and decompress a little after that match.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll take a quick
Best
break and
luck
we'll
for
be
the
back.
semifinals.
We'll be back with the semifinals here.
Mhm.